Now, today is day 3, and it is Live It. Quite honestly, today is about 2 things. It's about who we are, and are we going to solve our own problems? But also, how do we stop this out-of-control freight train? It's about Cass Sunstein and Mayor Bloomberg. These are the 2 poster children of an out-of-control nanny state, a government who is regulating America to death and sucking the life right out of us. You can't have a lemonade stand or a yard sale or a bake sale. You can't have certain fatty foods anymore. You can't smoke inside, outside, in your car, in front of people. Amish farms are raided for unauthorized milk. You can't buy gas-guzzling cars. You can't hug somebody at school. You can't buy certain amounts of soda. A lunch consisting of turkey and cheese, a banana, an apple, juice, and potato chips, quote, does not meet the U.S. Department of Agriculture guidelines. Who the hell cares? That lunch will get confiscated by school officials. The Federal Register, the list of all government regulations, is now over 80,000 pages long. How can you possibly remain legal? How do you know what you can and can't do? How can you possibly create? And how do you possibly undo 80,000 pages of regulations? Anytime anybody tries to point out the folly, what happens? It ends up causing more division. If you battle drilling regulations, well, then you just must hate the planet. You're disrupting the mating habits of the caribou. You argue against financial regulation, you're in bed with the fat cats on Wall Street. You say, wait a minute, affirmative action, it doesn't make sense. You're a racist. You fight against Michelle Obama's, food restriction drive, and, well, you just hate kids. You want them to be unhealthy. You want them to be fat. You argue about the hunting tag that are changing, like what happened with Ted Nugent. You end up in a Second Amendment argument. Everything divides us. Everything is about left and right instead of right and wrong. So for years, because I've been saying for years, Cass Sunstein is the most dangerous man because he'll kill us. He will kill our spirit. He'll kill our drive. He'll kill what makes America great. And so I've been thinking, what regulation could we possibly pull together universally on? What's the one regulation that would unite us instead of divide us? Hold that thought. Let me show you what's happened just over the last 12 months that we all know is nuts. Over 50% of Americans have now lent a family member or friend money. It's just the beginning. It's why we've been telling you store food, get food insurance, learn how to can, buy farmland or learn how to farm, buy gold, silver, something with intrinsic value. By the way, have you seen the price of gold? $16.40 per ounce. Look at that spike. What happened yesterday? What happened? The Fed said, they're going to have to bail out Europe, and we're going to have QE3. We'll probably be doing QE3. What that means is they're going to print more money. That makes your dollar worth less, which as soon as that came out, gold jumped up. Because eventually your dollar is worthless. And already people are facing real struggles. Look at this chart. When Barack Obama came into office, 31.9 million Americans received food stamps. That number is now at a record-shattering 46 million. This is an increase of 44.2%. Are you kidding me? In Detroit, they're being forced now to shut off the street lights to save money. In a city that used to be an industrial giant in America, a vibrant city, it's gone from Motown to ghost town. And it's the same story. They're just farther along. State after state after state. What have we been talking about on this program? Put your money where your heart is. Be charitable. Live a life of honor. Love your fellow human being. Be a source of hope for someone else. Be a force for good. Be a shelter in the storm so the world will know that they are not alone. Our government is going the opposite way. It's the exact antithesis of that. It says, you can't do this. You can't do that. Don't do that. We'll do it for you. In some cities now, it is illegal to give homeless people something to eat. In New York, it has gone so crazy that the food that comes in, people have been making these things for years and donating food to homeless shelters. And now they have new strict guidelines. For it to be donated, it has to meet these strict guidelines, or they'll refuse the food, and they are. Food with too much salt, you know. Can you imagine throwing any food away in front of a hungry person? Can you imagine? I don't care if it's a box of salty peanuts and pretzels. How do you explain, I want you to be healthy, sir. I'm sorry, we can't give you any of this food. Yeah, but I'm like starving. I know. Too much salt. We don't want you dying from too much salt intake. Not on our watch. That's crazy, and you and I both know it. Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, has banned all outdoor feedings of large numbers of people in city park land. Why is that a big deal? Because that's where outreach groups try to help the homeless and the hungry. Now, who could possibly argue that feeding somebody is a crime in any circumstance? To feed another human being? The government. They teach people to ignore your fellow man. Don't help them. We'll help them. Their message is Americans cannot help other Americans. Only the government can.